Gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Barr, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. To the witnesses, as you know, Kentuckians have a deep history and interest in the production, cultivation, and sale of industrial hemp. That dates back to Speaker Henry Clay. The hemp industry in the Commonwealth is booming. However, despite the legalization of industrial hemp in the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp farmers and producers and hemp-related businesses have had trouble accessing financial services. As you may know, I authored an amendment on this issue that was included in the Safe Banking Act, which the House passed in September. My amendment would require your regulatory agencies to issue guidance confirming that industrial hemp and hemp-derived products are legal and that banks don't need to file suspicious activity reports solely because a transaction relates to hemp. I want to thank you and your agencies, along with FinCEN, for issuing that very guidance. I believe it was issued yesterday, along those lines that will help the hemp industry in my district gain access to financial services. Chair McWilliams and Vice Chairman Quarles, your agencies issued that guidance that clarifies the legality of industrial hemp and states that banks are no longer required to file suspicious activity reports simply because their customers are engaged with hemp growth or production. I have heard from Kentucky bankers about this. They welcome this guidance, and it will go a long way to help the hemp industry thrive. Chair McWilliams, what plans do you have in place to train your examiners about how they should supervise institutions in light of hemp's legality and your guidance?
So we do, thank you for that question, and I think the guidance that we issued was crucial in making sure that there is at least some form of a roadmap for banks engaged in banking hemp-related businesses. We have done training with our examiners, and we will continue to do extensive training with our examiners to understand exactly how to look at these filings and to make sure that they understand that the suspicious activity report filings are not required for hemp-related transactions.
Thank you, and Chairman Hood, thank you for being first in line on this with your August 19th interim guidance on credit unions serving hemp businesses. What is your timeline for releasing updated guidance?
Well, we are continuing now, sir, to work with the industry to provide training to our examiners. We're also working with the state supervisory authorities to engage them in the process as well. We will now be working with the USDA and other related parties to ensure that we get it right. We will be hosting a series of roundtables to glean insight from entities and to glean insight around best practices. So
Thank you.
We're moving forward.
Thank you to all of you on this. One of the specific financial services which has been either unreliable or unavailable is card processing services. Does your guidance from yesterday clarify for card processing businesses that they can freely serve customers of hemp-related and specifically CBD retailers without any legal risk or liability?
I don't have the guidance in front of me, but we can circle back. I don't recall if that's...
Well, I've read the guidance closely, as you can tell, and I didn't see that in there, and that's the financial service that's really been unreliable and spotty. And so if you need to update that guidance to give more legal clarity to card processing businesses, I think that might be in order. Do you have a response to that?
We'll certainly take a look and make sure that we communicate with our regulated entities to see what's working and what's not vis-a-vis our guidance. And to the extent that we need to do additional explaining, we're more than happy to engage in that process.
Well, I'll just tell you that congressional intent is that not only that the regulators confirm the legality of industrial hemp and hemp-related retailers under the Farm Bill, but that those retailers and merchants can use card processing services to sell the product itself. And that's been the financial services issue for the most part. So I would ask all of you, if you need to revisit the guidance, to do so, to make sure that hemp-related businesses, legal under federal law, can offer those card processing services.
We will, and we will certainly make sure that we implement congressional intent as intended.
Great, thanks. Let me move on really quickly. Vice Chairman Quarles, would you describe the criteria you use to evaluate non-GSIB firms for inclusion in the Large Institution Supervision Coordinating Committee portfolio, the LISIC portfolio? Would you describe the criteria?
The issue with that question is that actually the criteria are under active review, so we are in the middle of developing a more concrete and transparent
I would encourage a clear off-ramp that firms may elect to exit the LISIC portfolio. Finally, on leverage lending, Vice Chair Quarles, do CLOs provide liquidity in stress market environments as long-term non-mark-to-market investors, and how might an overreaction to leverage lending undermine financial stability?
I'm not sure I'm going to. I'll follow up with you.
Thank you. I yield back.